Coming up on Mountain News this morning, we spoke with one politician on why he is urging state leaders to increase regulations for sober living facilities. And Senator Mitch McConnell visited the Commonwealth yesterday, giving remarks on what he considers the most pressing issues the country is facing.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Madison Carmouche. We're coming up on 5 o'clock this Thursday morning, and it is September 5th, 2024. We're almost there. It is Friday Junior, so let's send it over to meteorologist Tim Drawbridge for a look at your forecast this morning.
Friday Junior, I love that one, but are you kind of going for a theme with a burger and a junior? Yeah, I'm hungry. Anyhow, coffee's close by. 52, we got some fog limiting the visibility across the region this morning. No pretty colors. Got a data issue. You know, you gotta love technology. One thing's not talking to another, but hey, I can show you a few things this morning. 54 here in Hazard. Cool start to the day because we should be typically where Jackson is. In the lower 60s, 49 at Clintwood, but 57 at Irvin. And look at the 24-hour temperature change. That's a good thing. I have some colors on this map. Anyhow, still running cooler in places versus where we were 24 hours ago. Now, there's nothing right now being brought into the system on the satellite weather composite. There are some high clouds scooting across our southern counties, northern Tennessee, on over toward Heartland, and check that, Norton and Wise back toward Middlesboro. As we look at the next 12 hours, the fog will burn off, and we got a beautiful day on tap. Lots of sunshine, seasonably warm, and a high in Hazard up to 84. More about your ARH First Alert 7-day forecast as we head through this 5 o'clock hour. Madison?
All right, Tim, thank you. Somerset Mayor Alan Keck is calling for increased regulations in the addiction recovery system. WYMT's Chandler Wilcox talked to Keck about why he is pushing for more measures.
Somerset Mayor Alan Keck sent a letter to state leaders urging them to increase regulations for sober living facilities.
It's just a checks and a balance. It's an accountability measure where we make sure there's not waste, fraud, and abuse, and then we make sure those that need that next level of treatment are actually getting it.
Keck recommended reinstalling pre-authorization guidelines that were eliminated during the COVID-19 pandemic. Doctors could make references for their patients on what level of treatment they needed. The mayor says it is too easy to run sober living facilities in the state now.
Well, it's no different than if you were going to a doctor's office, let's say. You don't just walk right into a knee surgeon. You know, you're going to go to your general provider and they're going to refer you to that next level.
Keck says Medicaid is the main provider for sober living facilities. He wants to ensure those funds are being used correctly.
When you remove a guardrail from a federally funded program, it turns into a free-for-all.
Keck says several leaders throughout the state are also in favor.
Literally every mayor that I've talked to is supportive of this measure. I know many are going to come forward.
The Somerset City Council passed an ordinance in January requiring those facilities to comply with standards. In Somerset, Chandler Wilcox, WYMT Mountain News.
Keck also says he supports those in recovery. He says the letter is not only about pushing against Medicaid fraud, but also helping those who need help find the right resources. U.S. Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell visited Madison County yesterday, addressing the Richmond Chamber of Commerce. McConnell highlighted the importance of staying involved in Ukraine, criticized the Biden administration's withdrawal from Afghanistan, and discussed concerns about defense spending and inflation. McConnell also weighed in on the election, suggesting that the Democratic nominee will be closely tied to the current administration's record.
Now, I think what the Democratic nominee is going to be is to argue that she's the future and the Republican nominee is the past. The problem with that argument, it seems to me, is the Democratic nominee is stuck with the record of this administration.
McConnell also shared insights on infrastructure projects in Kentucky and his new book. Attorney General Russell Coleman is giving some guidance to prosecutors and law enforcement on illegal gray gambling machines. Attorney General Coleman cited the General Assembly's 2023 ban on such devices, a ban that was tested and upheld in court in June. He emphasizes law enforcement is authorized to investigate and prosecute any violations of Kentucky's gambling laws. As the leaves begin to fall, one organization is getting ready to soar. This year's Shaping Our Appalachian Region Summit kicks off October 16th through the 18th. I had the chance to speak with the executive director about the plans in Pikeville next month. Shaping Our Appalachian Region are not only the words behind SOAR, but also the mission.
We represent the region. We don't represent one community, one county. Congressman Rogers and Governor Beshear founded us to be a group that brings people together.
Executive Director Colby Hall says the SOAR Summit brings people together from one end of the region to the other with hopes of fostering collaboration.
You might be trying to work on a similar problem that another community has already gotten a little bit of a head start on, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel, right? You can, learn from what they've seen and they can get you started. The
2024 SOAR Summit will be hosted in the city of Pikeville this year and use locations throughout the city.
We're leveraging all of downtown Pikeville. We think one of Pikeville's unique assets is that it's completely walkable, right? So we're going to have a lot of sessions at the University of Pikeville this year. It's within walking distance of the Appalachian Wireless Arena where the exhibit hall is, and there's going to be breakout sessions.
Hall says the summit is expected to bring more than 1,000 people to the region and cause an economic boom.
I really believe the SOAR Summit celebrates those great qualities while recognizing that we have some challenges we have to overcome, but our people are our number one asset, and that when we come together, nothing can stop us, and that's what the summit's all about.
The SOAR Summit is celebrating its 10th year this year. To register for the SOAR Summit or the SOAR Summit Expo Hall, we have links in this story on our website. Governor Beshear announced yesterday close to $1.7 million will go to 16 communities. One of those communities benefiting is in our area. The city of Jackson will receive more than $172,000 for a project. The funding will be used to plant trees, hire foresters, and increase public awareness on the benefits of urban forestry. Officials say the benefits include improving the health and well-being of people across the state. Speaking of Governor Beshear, he will host a Team Kentucky briefing today. Some of the topics Governor Beshear will address are economic development as well as infrastructure developments and the state's response to natural disasters and severe weather. There will also be an update about the medical cannabis program. The Kentucky Community and Technical College System says more than 85,000 students have enrolled for the fall semester. Overall, that's nearly an 8.5% increase from last year, which sets a 10-year record. KCTCS says they have also seen growth with underrepresented minorities, non-traditional students, and students in programs aligning with Kentucky's targeted industries for the future. One city in Laurel County is receiving emergency road aid funds. The City of London will receive more than $48,000 for drain structure repairs on West 4th Street. Transportation Secretary Jim Gray says the cabinet is happy to approve the request for funding to the city. Well, thanks for getting your day started with us here on Mountain News this morning. Just ahead, an event that highlighted suicide prevention, healthcare, housing access, and more, all for veterans in need.
Waking up to some variable temperatures, or temperatures varying across the region rather, and some of us with some fog issues as well. We'll talk about it with a trend toward fall. Your ARH First Alert 7-day forecast is coming up right after this.